Presented by ScottKingDesigns.com. Hosted by Jeff Klein.
Pretty sure she gets a lot of comments about how effing hot she is, so she's probably tired of him.
Jason Place.
I had to suspect that that's what was going on anyway.
And SKD. Oh, I hope we don't lose everything. I'm gonna feel like a jackass. Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are going for take 2 tonight. This lovely Monday night, October 20th, 2014. I have no idea what the hell happened earlier. I think we're just running into a little internet troubles, so nothing we can do about
What
it.
happened is we had a massive first turn pileup. We had to red flag it and restart.
Red flag. Yes. Yes, I would classify that as a red flag for sure.
Yes.
So we're just going to start over. So thank you guys for listening. Thanks you guys that been kind of hanging out in the chat room while we've been trying to get this figured out. So thanks guys, and thanks everyone that's been listening to us this year. So yeah, this is it. We got we're gonna talk about the Monster Cup, and then after that, I think we're gonna try to figure out what we're gonna do for next year. And thanks to everyone listening and everyone that's been helping us out this year. We got I think a pretty good group of guys. So Moto, Plainview Power Sports, Fine Tune Motorsports, MB1 Suspension, Black Diamond MX, Minnesota District 23, Hardline MX, Northland MX, the Bicycle Works, the Damn Bait Shop, the guys at the Open Mic Podcast, and Scott King Designs. And yeah, keep liking us on Facebook. Search for us, just Talkin Moto. Twitter is at Talkin Moto, Instagram at Talkin Moto Podcast, and you can send all your hate mail right to us at talkinmoto@gmail.com. Are we all
By us, you mean you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I never
pretty
read
sure.
that hate mail.
That email.
I'll forward it on to you guys. So, all right. Whew. I need a drink.
I'm tucked out from all the technical glitches, so.
Ugh, that's horrible.
I'm already ready for a break, guys. I have to pee.
I know we're half hour in and haven't even started. So, but yeah, I think we'll jump into it. What'd you guys think? Like it? It was all right. Something to watch?
Personally, I think one of the more exciting Monster Cups in history. Very short history, I'll give you that, but quite entertaining, I thought.
Jeff?
Yeah, it was good. I was a big fan of the racing. Guys actually looked like they were aggressive out there, and I think it was partially because it seemed like it was a new group of people. Like, I guess Kennard, it was his first one. I don't know if Millsaps has been to any of them. Jason Anderson, you haven't seen him at one. I can't remember him being at one. So it was kind of a new crop of riders, and watching them, they were aggressive.
What'd you think of like how that first start took off? How they had to kind of go up over that hill and then drop down. I know like Reedy kind of made a left-hander out of a right-hander and kind of I think he jacked Dungy up.
So lucky.
Huh?
He got so lucky that he like hung on to that thing. That was pretty wild.
Ugh.
That could have been a pretty hard hit if he'd actually high-sided coming off of that hill like that.
Yeah.
I gotta say that if there's one part of the track that I did not like, that was it. I thought that was kind of dumb.
Just the start.
I like the concept, like how they both came in on opposite sides. I thought that was cool. How they were.
Oh, I
You
like
really
that. I just didn't. I didn't like the hump. I thought the hump
Yeah.
was dumb.
I kind of agree with you there. I think the hump is. I don't think it's really ever a good idea to have a roller or anything like that on the start of a race.
Exactly.
Well, shoot. I don't know.
I thought the concept of the actual hole shot line being where it was actually pretty sweet. I mean, it was like a whole other race within a race to get to that line, and especially the way Kennard seemed to make that work for him. Just by basically out aggressing everybody else was just impressive.
Scott, my wife says she needs a bigger Talkin Moto shirt. She can't fit into the one she's got. Which, by the way, is my shirt, but apparently her, the child growing inside her has reached the limit.
She needs a Takemoto beach towel right now.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's probably going to get me in trouble.
Well, might have to edit that part out.
Talkin Moto movie.
Takemoto Mumu.
What
Yeah, I don't know how they. Let's take a note from this, and let's have some supercrosses that have a minute 10 lap times. I think I'd be down with that.
I'm sure
Is it possible in a normal arena though, or a normal stadium?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think does Vegas always. I know Vegas they always go outside, but I don't think they ever have lap times that long.
No, but it
So
seemed like
wherever they-
there was an extra section outside this year. It kind of it's a sweet idea. I mean, just the speed alone on that track was awesome. So I think, yeah, if you could incorporate that into some supercrosses, that'd be sweet. But I don't know if you'd have the room in a regular stadium to do that.
So, I kind of like the fact that it wasn't insanely technical. It was, guys you're all able to do the same thing, and it seemed like it kept the racing pretty tight.
Yeah, I love that.
I just don't know why they don't do more of that in the. Of course, it helped that it was only 10 laps, so
Yeah,
it was like
and
races.
that made a huge difference too. I thought it was kind of interesting that Carmichael came right out and said, "I did not expect this track to be this fast."
Well, yeah, I think I was on. I don't know if it was Instagram or Facebook, but he missed qualifying by what 4 thousandths or something like that, and he was only a second off the fastest time, so I guess that could be good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess I like that it was 10 laps too, because let's say Millsaps or Kennard's not there, right? Now you got one guy just completely ran away with it, because those guys gapped everybody else. And Nelson.
Yeah, they did. I definitely liked 10 laps, but can we get away from calling them main events? I don't know how you have a main event 3 times. Can we just call them 3 motos? It was a 3 moto format. Why can't they just call them motos? I'm probably nitpicking, but that just really bothered me.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, you can go either way. What?
I can't just be happy with something. I gotta have something to bitch about.
What? I guess one of the big shocks for me was Justin Hill. I think, I didn't expect him to do that well, but he was tearing it up.
He was definitely impressive. I know at the end of Moto 1, I think I thought the race was kind of over, but then the leader at Kennard took the Joker lane and he came out. He wasn't too far ahead of him. It was pretty good. I like getting out of him. He's not even a big bike rider. I don't know. Was he on? I don't know. Was he on a 350?
No.
No, I was on a 450.
Okay.
But he said, right at the beginning that he feels pretty at home on the 450. That he's kind of more of a lugger anyway. So I think that 450 kind of suits his style a little bit more.
What did you think of where the Joker lane was? Has it always been right before the finish?
Mm,
I want to say it hasn't, but I'd have to go back and look.
I don't think it has. I think it's always been, a lane or two before.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the
But-
one time it was right when they came in the stadium when.
Yeah, you're right. Yep, because that was the year
They
Dungy
missed
missed it.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of a sweet spot for it, though. I mean, especially for the guys that were going to go last lap, it definitely added a little bit of drama.
God, how good would it have been if Millsaps wouldn't have went down?
I don't think he had a chance anyway.
No.
I think Kennard had him covered.
Yeah, I
But
think he was
it
too
would have been a
far
lot closer.
Yeah.
Like, if he could have tripled that thing, maybe. But
It wasn't going to happen for him. But I'm not going to lie, when he went down, I was on the couch yelling at the TV. I mean, that was exciting for sure. But I don't think he had a shot at him.
damn Davey Millsaps.
Why damn Davey Millsaps?
Oh, I don't know. Nothing against the guy. He kind of, I don't know if it's because Kennard won the first two, and then, like, kind of the wheels kind of fell off a little bit for him, and then all of a sudden, Davey Millsaps wins. I was like, I couldn't even tell you where he finished in the first two.
He was right up there. He was, fourth in the first moto and
Yeah, he went 4
somewhere right around there. Yeah, third, second moto. So, I mean, he was right in there.
Yeah.
Well, he was in second for most of that first moto, but I think he took the Joker lane at the end and got passed by two guys.
Yeah.
I think Tomac got him, and then Hill got him. So, but I think he got past Hill when Hill jumped in the Joker lane, and then he rode in second until the last lap when he took the Joker lane and he got hose bagged.
Yeah, 4-3. Oh, yeah, 4-3-1.
Poor Kennard, man. That guy, he just fell apart out there, and he had the ride of his life going.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if he, even if he doesn't go down, if he wins that third moto, but he definitely would have won the overall.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess it was kind of starting to look like maybe Millsaps was fading and that he was going to find a way around him, but I don't know. It would have been interesting.
I mean, the guy didn't make a mistake all night, and then the final moto, he's got $1 million on the line, and he goes out there and makes that error when he hits the
Yeah, that tough block just jumped
tough
out.
block.
Too.
What? Yeah, I mean,
I was just kind of waiting for that to happen, though. As those guys are going farther and farther out there, I was just kind of waiting for that one to jump out and grab somebody.
I feel like those guys should not. I feel like they're too good to ever hit the tough blocks. Like, stay away from them. Quit running into him.
I enjoyed it when he hit the second tough block after he got back up, and Ralph had to yell out, "Oh, it just gets worse for Kennard." It's like, dude, he brushed a tough block. Shut up.
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't know. How many times Dean Wilson, he likes to run into those, but usually when he hits them, he flips over the handlebars.
He brushed that tough block. It was obviously nothing serious, no big deal, and Ralph just loses his shit over it.
Well, I think he did miss the triple in that rhythm. He had to double when he hit it, but
I didn't think he did. Maybe he did. I think that had more to do with the fact that after that tough block, he's trying to keep it on the track, but I don't know. That just bugged me. But it's no secret that Ralph bugs me anyway. So
is it, like, I would bet money. He always responds on Twitter. I don't know if you guys ever say anything to him or not. But like I sent one out to him, Emig, Carmichael, and I don't know if there was another one in on there, but out of all of them, he's the one that'll respond back. But
We better get Ralph on the show.
Ralph, you're coming on the show. But
I'll pretend to be a fan for 20 minutes.
oh, jeez. All right, he's not coming on the show.
Yeah, I'm sure he listens.
Oh man. But
Did you notice, Scott, after we were texting there about Carmichael, that he got kind of quiet for a while? I was kind of wondering if maybe he saw some of the comments being made. It kind of maybe hurt his feelings.
What are you talking about?
I can't remember. I think it was Moto Playground posted a picture from the side of Carmichael on their Facebook page,
Oh yeah.
and it did not do his figure any favors.
Oh yeah. I saw that picture and I saw that it said you commented on it, but I didn't feel like going into the comments to see what you said. But
It was all Carmichael fat jokes.
oh boy. Yeah, people they don't hold back in the chat room.
No, hey, I defended the guy in kind of a roundabout way.
Yeah. We should go in there and I'm waiting to get banned from Racer X. But
I don't think you can.
Yeah, I think you got to work a little harder on that. You got to start threatening somebody's children or something.
oh, they're pretty lenient.
Well, the idiots that get by with posting in there on a regular basis, I'm sure they don't ban anyone from the look of it.
I need to start commenting on maybe some more popular ones because like the ones I comment on, like no one ever really replies to me, or it'll go back and forth a couple times and then that'll be it. But
Well, that's the thing. If you ever go on there and make any sense at all, no one wants to have a logical conversation. They all want to act like morons and accuse you of using multiple screen names, because who does that? That's what I see happening all the time. Is like, oh, so and so is the same person as so and so, just switching the screen name. Like, yeah, like that's convenient.
yeah,
That's why I never read them.
I get great enjoyment out of reading them for some reason, but we're so freaking stupid in there.
Jeff Jason was saying something. I don't know if this was before we started or during our red flag, we'll call it. You said you heard something that Alessi qualified, but he stopped on the track.
Yeah, I heard they took away his fast time for stopping on the track. So they took away his fast time for that session or something. I guess we heard we got a local guy now, a kid from I think he's from Monaga is where Trin's from. Is there the truck driver for Moto Concepts now? It's one of Matt's buddies. So got a little bit of an in for the old Moto Concepts rig.
I consider him one of my buddies too. I mean, we hung out at the bar.
We did have a lot of fun with him down in Hannibal.
And that too. I forgot about that. I don't remember a whole lot of that trip.
Yeah, he's a good dude, and I guess he's wanted to work in motocross for some time in the industry, so he's worked at getting enough hours in his truck to start putting resumes in with the teams, and then got contacted by Tony and went up to Canada and met with them and talked to him and kind of interviewed, I guess, and then there you go. Now he's driving the Moto Concepts rig. So
I'm trying to.
I don't know for sure if that's what happened with Alessi, but that's what Matt was saying, that I think so. He must have got some inside scoop from Trin.
Yeah, because I seen they had him in 22nd, so he missed it. Then he got 8th in the LCQ.
Yeah, it is a rule that you can't stop on the track during practice.
I think that's a good rule.
Yeah, I think it stops guys from checking out sections, like watching other riders go through sections or something. I don't really know exactly what the reason for it is, but maybe it's a safety deal. But
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
I mean, should you imagine doing that rhythm section, you triple in and there's two yahoos sitting there, looking at the
yeah,
ground.
not that different from, I mean, rolling it. You can roll the section as slow as you want,
Right.
and that's equally dangerous too if guys are jumping through it at full speed. But I think I don't know. I mean, everyone knows the rules, so the rules are the rules. Pay attention.
Trying to go through the list of all the guys that were there. Seen Martin didn't make it.
I'm a little bummed that it sounds like Carmichael might be stealing my idea for future Joker lanes.
Oh no. What do you got?
He kind of made mention a few times about how maybe in the future the Joker lane will actually be better, or be an advantage, be kind of a shortcut for one lap, and instead of being a hindrance.
No, I
Yeah,
think.
I'm kind of cool with that. That seems like a neat concept.
That's kind of what I thought. I don't know how you do it, but
Well, the thing is, though, people immediately, I would think.
I would think so too. I think first
Right away,
lap you
boom,
go
get
for
in
it.
front of everyone.
Yep.
Unless you're in the lead, and then you probably don't need it. But then as guys take it, you're like, shit, I'm losing spots here by not taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's some pretty cool things that could be done. I mean, you could do, multiple Joker lanes.
Ooh.
You could do one that's faster and one that's slower.
You imagine how confusing that would get? Did we have any riders not do the Joker lane this week? I didn't
I don't
notice.
think everyone did it.
I think everybody did it.
Yeah, I didn't hear anybody. But yeah, I mean, even if they would have left it where it was this year, and instead of that inside, maybe there's like a giant wall or something, I mean, they could have really slowed down that inside lane. So, but then I think if you did that, then, I think if you did that, everyone would just take the Joker lane on the, to me, I'd take it on the last lap then. But
Well, I think Carmichael's got something there. I mean, there's a couple different strategies. If you're behind someone and you're just getting pelted with roost, I say you take it before, as long as you got a gap behind you, so that when you come out, you're not going to be right behind someone. I'd say you take it, and then you get a little breathing room, and hope you can catch back up to the guy before, and then he has to dip in there, and boom, you got an easy pass, assuming you can catch him. But I think the other scenario is if you're in the lead, you just push as hard as you can, and then the last lap, take it. And hope you've built up a big enough lead to maintain the lead. So it's really kind of the strategy depends on your track position. But it always will, depending, even if you make the Joker lane an advantage, obviously it'll matter where you're at.
right.
In the lead, I don't think you'd want to. Well, maybe you would want to jump into it and extend your lead, but then you lose that. Then it's not in your back pocket for later if you end up getting passed, So, I don't know. That's a pretty cool concept. You could get a lot of cool things going on.
I thought it was a pretty sweet idea when it was my idea, and now it's not my idea, so now I think it sucks.
Well, I think it's safe to say our picks
Sucked?
were horrible.
Yeah.
They were horrible.
I'm
One of
going to
those-
pick Kennard for second. He got third. So
Yeah, you're not bad. Yeah, I'd say, I guess I'd
I'm
have to
pretty sure he
say
picked
Jeff would be
Tomac
the
for
winner
third.
out of all of us.
What did
Well,
I pick Tomac for? Third or second? I don't remember.
you had Wilson, Kennard, and Baggett.
I didn't even pick Tomac. Oh my god. What is wrong with me?
And then Jeff had Barsha, Kennard, Tomac. So, yeah, Kennard got third, Tomac second. And then I had Kennard, Barsha, Dungy. So Trey got third. Dungy ended up fourth, I think.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know how serious the guys take that race. Like, I think for some of them, it's. I don't know. For some of them, I don't think it's a big deal. Like, I suppose if you don't think that you're going to go in there and win, maybe the money's just not worth it, and maybe it's just one of them things where they just go there and have a good time and try to see what their initial settings are like for their Supercross setup. But
yeah,
I think there's a lot more of that going on, especially after first moto. I think you kind of see how first moto goes, and then after that, you maybe
mess with
might
settings
be
and
doing a
see
little
what you can
bit.
do.
But I mean, like Chad Reed came right out and said it. He's just going through the motions.
Well, I read somewhere that he went from Latvia to Australia for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or some damn thing. So he hasn't even hardly ridden, any Supercross at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it didn't sound like he was.
Yeah, it sounded like he was still hurting from the nations. But yeah, it was.
Crash there.
I was working hard on Friday, so I watched the press conference. So they start with Reed, and I don't know if you guys watched it at all, but pretty much what you said, Jeff. He said I haven't really ridden and this and that, and he's like, I'd rather be at home at my house in Florida, but I'm here, and I'm here, and what did he say? I'm here because I have to be, not because I want to be, or something like that.
I didn't really get that.
Oh,
I guess. I mean, nobody said he had to be there. He had a rider there, so I mean, nobody said he had to be there.
I'm sure Discount Tire and all that other. I'm sure he's got a ton of sponsorship obligations he's got to fulfill. So
Yeah, and I wonder if they want him there because he's probably a bigger draw than Josh Grant. You know what I mean?
right.
I think that'd be interesting sometime. Take a Supercross or take Monster Energy Cup sometime. Take every fan that walks through the door and ask them who are they there to watch, and see who the big draws are and who they aren't, or if people really actually care about.
Shit, dude, half of them at the top probably said James Stewart.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, they probably don't even have a clue.
Yeah.
Speaking,
I was looking at the Bob's thing. I don't know if it was on Friday or Saturday or what day they posted on Facebook. Pick your winner or whatever. And these people making picks, it's like, do you not even pay any attention at all? I mean, you're picking people that aren't racing.
Right.
why not?
Or picking. I mean, you're making picks for. I mean, they're giving away $100 gift certificate. You're gonna pick people that aren't even racing.
It's a sleeper pick.
It's just dumb. It's ignorance. Horrible ignorance.
Yeah, so Jeff, you started to say it. Yeah, so Stewart couldn't race, but so it sounds like he's going to be able to race once everything gets cleared out. Is that kind of what you heard?
Well, yeah, I don't understand exactly what he couldn't race, but it sounds like his therapeutic use exemption was approved.
Yeah, and he has
Properly.
there's some hearing or something for this week or next week.
Well, how do you know it's already, how do they know it's already been approved if the hearing hasn't happened yet?
Excited. Unless I'm completely brain farting, I think it's going to be on 2 separate deals. Maybe, or it's the other group. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, maybe one was the FIM, one was USADA or something.
So, kind of.
Or one was WADA and whatever.
WADA.
Which, really?
Yeah.
Can't they figure this out? I mean, Seattle was in April. But, I don't know.
Well, I guess it's kind of the outcome I expected, but you wonder what's going to happen if someone else gets popped. Are they going to get the same, I mean, obviously now that we've gone through one of these deals, it's kind of a precedent's been set. So the next guy says, "Oh yeah, here's my after the fact. Here's my paperwork. Here's my medical paperwork. You got to approve me now too because you approved Stewart."
Right.
I mean, a guy's just gonna do it until they get caught, and then hope they can wiggle their way out of it like he did.
I don't know. I think they're at pretty good risk of getting caught now. So I guess I don't see a whole lot of that going on anymore. I'm probably naive. I mean, there's probably still going to be a lot of it, but to me, they're especially.
Uh-oh.
Cues, at least for a little while it's still in the spot.
Yeah, Matt in the chat room was saying that the hearing is for the penalty, and then that's it.
Well, I don't understand why that had any effect on this weekend, then, if that's all it's for.
Hell, I don't know.
Because the Racer X article specifically said that he could not race this weekend because there hadn't been a hearing yet.
Matt, why are you telling us false information, jerk?
Calling you out, MTK.
I was gonna say, I was just gonna ask you if that was my Matt or who that was.
Oh, it's your Matt now.
Woo.
I didn't know we had ownership over our listeners. Let's see, who do I want? Nobody really.
Oh no, that's not nice. All right. Do we? You guys want to hit up the break quick? Come back.
Sure.
Matt's in here talking smack about my sleeping during the race.
See, your Matt is turning against you.
That was like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know. I just went back and looked. It was 28 minutes ago, actually. Yeah, I watched it again when I got home, jerk.
All right, guys. We'll be right back.
Bye-bye.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? I just want to say thank you to everyone out there that's been supporting the Talkin Moto podcast. It has been amazing. We have a great group of guys. We have an awesome list of sponsors. So please keep sharing, keep liking, keep spreading the word about the Talkin Moto podcast. And I hope you're enjoying the show. A special thanks to Motokazi.com. Motokazi holds AMA District 23 sanctioned races at both Kellogg and Mankato, as well as hosts the Motokazi Supercross Championship Series, which is all over Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin. They also have organized practice at Kellogg, Jordan, and at Mankato, as well as offer race schools, so you can get all tuned in on all your riding techniques. Make sure to check out Motokazi.com for more details. We would like to thank Mike from MB1 Suspension. Based out of Corona, California, they offer suspension, engine, and coating services. Please give them a call today at 951-371-5045 or check them out online at mb1suspension.com and make sure to tell them that you heard about them from us on the Talkin Moto podcast. Hey, we got Andy and Chad from The Open Mic. It's a weekly comedy podcast, and they talk about anything and everything, and they usually do. I've been on the podcast a few times, and it is a good time for sure. It's Friday nights, 8 p.m. Central. It's available on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher. There's more information available online at theopenmicpodcast.com. Pro Action by FTM is one of our many great sponsors. FTM offers support to you, the rider, trackside, so when you need it the most, FTM is there for you. Not only do they offer great suspension work, but they also have many other great bike parts and accessories to help you out on the track. So make sure to check them out today at finetune.com. The Talkin Moto podcast is proud to announce that they've teamed up with Plainview Powersports. Plainview Powersports is your Kawasaki motorcycle, ATV, and side-by-side headquarters. Located in Plainview, Minnesota, you can reach them at 507-534-3520 or check them out online at plainview-powersports.com. All right, thanks everyone for listening to us on the Talkin Moto podcast. We really appreciate it. If you can, go onto our website, talkinmoto.com. Support those that are supporting us. Everyone's link is up on the website. We're on Stitcher, we're on iTunes, we're on SoundCloud. Everything gets posted up on YouTube. So please give us a like, share, subscribe, and I hope you're enjoying the show. So let's get back to it. All right, everybody, welcome back. Something I did this week on... something I did this week on the Talkin Moto website is I did a little kind of write-up thing on Cody Slark. So it's catching up with Cody Slark. Head on over, talkinmoto.com, and give it a little read, kind of a question and what he's got going on and all that other stuff. So I think it actually turned out pretty good. And
I think they call that an interview.
Yeah.
I think they call it a copyright infringement. Isn't that a name for something? Doesn't someone have a segment called that already?
No.
Well, everybody's doing it.
Ours is cooler.
Well, true.
Yeah, I thought it turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
So, yeah. That is
Sorry, I didn't mean to rain on your parade.
Yeah. Asshole.
I thought that was just a segment on Racing X.
No. I think theirs is privateer profile. I think there's another one too, but I don't know if there's a catching up with. Who knows?
Now we're getting into the specifics of
Yeah,
it.
technicality.
A new,
What was that?
did someone get a new toy here with all the
He's
sound effects?
pressing buttons.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, our picks were crap.
Which was to be expected.
Yeah, we tried.
I think Barsha screwed me over. He should have been better.
Yeah,
I think what really hosed him up, and I should have maybe looked at the track, is the start was short. Didn't take him. They didn't have a big long stretch to really let that Yamaha horsepower take over.
well, it took over in the third moto when him and Baggett kind of. I don't know what happened. I know they went down. I don't know if they just locked handlebars or.
That picture was ugly.
I
don't even know where Baggett is in that photo. Like he's nowhere to be found.
He's probably in like the fifth row of the bleachers. Yeah, that'd been ugly. I wouldn't. I would not want to crash there. or
Well, no,
anywhere.
that dirt just looks terrible. Like when Kennard's crashed, his head ricocheted
Oh
off
God,
the hard pack pretty good.
he just had to be a lobster of road rash. The way he skidded across that dirt.
You know, okay, since we kind of started talking about him again, what do you think happened when on his second crash? Like,
Well, originally I thought he probably ran into the back of Malcolm, but when they kind of slowed it down and went to a different angle, it actually looked like they never really touched. He just kind of,
I
I think, he went in there a little fast and decided at the last minute he was going to hit him, so got on the binders and lost traction.
I think it was either that or he was probably not expecting Malcolm to turn it in so sharp, so he was turning in a little sharper than his tires would allow him.
Malcolm
I
was
think
doing one hell of a job of riding a wide bike, that's for sure. I mean,
I think Kennard was going down though. I don't think he made really any contact with Malcolm. He
no,
just going down regardless.
this will make me sound like a jerk, but it's okay.
We're used to it.
I know. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I went racing, I always spent my own money.
Yeah, I was getting kind of tired of that too.
Yeah, and it's like, I had to spend some of
I
his own
don't
money to
have-
get here. Well,
I
yeah,
don't have anywhere near the money that family has, so
I don't know.
I kind of doubt he spent any of his own money.
So, that's me being a jerk.
Kind of interesting that he doesn't have a ride yet, though. I think I think the end of outdoor season probably has a lot to do with that. But some of those guys, it's like, wow, how do they not have a ride for Supercross?
Right.
I think he's better than a lot of the guys that don't have rides. I mean, I think he's better than Weimer for sure in Supercross.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
If he's on a 450, if he's on anything else, it's a different deal. But on a 450, I think he's extremely good. But I don't, I think he's got a lot of baggage. I think people don't want to deal with Big James.
So he didn't do. I mean, he got fifth. So I mean, God, that's quite the gap, though. I mean, Tomac, Dungy. Well, this is in the last one. Anderson was 6 seconds back, but then to Malcolm it was almost 15.
How did he end up on a Yamaha?
Who?
Malcolm.
He was on a Yamaha?
Wasn't he? Maybe he wasn't. Maybe I should have paid more attention.
No, he's on a Honda with like some weird dark blue, like navy blue graphics.
Oh, I was gonna say. I was
He was
confused because I thought it was his old Troy Lee bike.
Yeah, it's a 7 graphics. Like he posted a picture on, I don't know, I saw on Facebook where it was basically James's gear company was sponsoring him for the weekend.
Oh, see, Ralph let me down because usually he says, green Kawasaki, red Honda. He never said blue Honda, so I just assumed it was a Yamaha.
It was an interesting looking bike. I thought it was kind of ugly, but
I never got a good close look at it, I guess, obviously.
It's okay.
but I think if you're sponsored by a 7 for the weekend, you'd think you'd be picking up the tab for racing.
Well, that's what I mean. I have a hard time believing he spent any money out of his own pocket for this weekend. He probably, bought a Monster or something.
I doubt there was an entry fee since it was all invite only.
I didn't get invited.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's bogus.
What did you guys think of the Super Mini and the Amateur All-Star Racing?
First Super Mini Moto, I was depressed. I was basically watching them guys thinking, why do I even bother trying to race? I mean, I just suck compared to these kids. And then I realized that the guy that was leading was 15 years old, and it's like, you know what? When it comes to motocross, these aren't really kids.
Yeah, think about it. That kid, the kid's probably already been on a big bike, and he's potentially less than a year away from being the age of when most professionals go pro.
Yeah.
So,
And it's not like they're out there riding around on bone stock 85s either. I mean, it's called Super Mini for a reason. I don't remember if it was Mathis or who put on Twitter. Basically every bike you could possibly ride in Super Mini. And it was like everything up to a 124.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of expecting more, maybe more carnage in the super minis. I know. Was that they only did two, so it was in the second race that the guy that was second and third, they kind of come together, and the one went zipping across the rhythm lane, and I think
It made for a pretty gnarly wad up there.
I'm not so sure that I'm big on that race, having those kids race on that track, because it seems to me that it's just a recipe for some kid getting really hurt. And
And that
the
happened.
crash that happened in that second moto when they red flagged it, that was a pretty bad. Like, it wasn't the original crash wasn't that nasty. It was when the other kid gets T-boned, by the bike in the middle of the rhythm. He was basically landing and then coming up off the next double and just teed the kid up.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like that track may be a little too. It's not that they can't ride it. It's just that I don't think they can all ride it together at one time safely.
Well, that rhythm lane seemed awfully narrow. I thought. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed like, I don't know, it seemed like it was, to start with, for those guys, it was huge, but I don't know, it just didn't seem like there was a whole lot of room there.
hang on a second.
Yeah, you saw what happened when one kid. I mean, that was like a. So the two guys come together, and the one dude kind of shoots off, and then I think someone maybe let off because they saw it happening. Came up way short, go over the handlebars, and then all these, chain reaction. I just think it's because these kids aren't used to racing on a track like that with 20 other bikes or 19 other bikes, and so there's just such a small room for error. I don't know. I don't really care for it because I think that it's not that entertaining. But I don't know.
No, I don't know. I thought it was good, and I think Jason, you kind of said it. It's like, yeah, I mean, they are kids, but like, I don't know. I mean, they're 15 years old, and they've been riding. I'm half their age, or they're half my age, and they've been riding, for 10 years already,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm with Jeff though. It's just like, man, guy can get pretty wrecked out there.
I'm surprised that they're even able to do it. It just seems like someone would be having a fit about it, like one of these groups that feels the need to go out of their way to tell other people what they should do with their kids. I just think that I don't know. I guess I feel like I'm surprised that someone hasn't come out and said something to try to put a stop to it. But at the same time, I don't want that to happen. But I think that it would just be a wise idea to, I don't know, not have amateurs on a professional supercross track.
Well, I think one thing to remember is this, and that's that these aren't your average kids that we see on the weekends racing dirt bikes. I mean, these kids have been riding forever. They were, if you went down the list, I think there's a lot of correlation between them and, their dads raced in the past as pros or whatever. So we're not talking about your average kid, that just started racing 2 years ago and
Oh man,
they know what they're getting into.
right?
I don't know what happened there, but I like cut out for like most of your
Yeah, we lost
thing.
kind of the tail end of it, Jason.
What? God, why do I even bother talking?
I think I got you. These kids know what they're getting into.
Throw in the
Frustrating.
towel.
God. Stupid.
Well, so did anyone know like that kid that crashed? I think his name was the kid that didn't really get up right away. Last name started with a K. I can't remember if it was uh, Keast or something. I'm thinking of Kyle Keast from he's from Canada, but it was
What are you thinking? Kieran Narin?
some kid with a K. I don't know how he's doing or what, but
He's the one that crashed, broke 2 wrists and a femur.
oof, yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Which like I told Scott before we went on, I think the femur was fairly obvious when you watch the replay. Pretty much saw what happened there.
That's
yeah, and I don't think it's good for young kids to break their femurs because doesn't it usually jack up their growth plate? That's usually
Yep, that's a bad one to break for sure. Well, it is anyway, but yeah, when you're that young, that's a big problem.
um, yeah, I'm not really a fan of that stuff, but and that's why, like Matt was saying, I fell asleep because of that. It was so boring to me. I just fell asleep and uh, couldn't quite make it to the final race. I woke up for the final race, though. I guess I didn't see the second moto of the what was the other one? Amateur All Stars. Now those kids, I guess those I can see that whole deal because they're on the verge of turning pro.
we'll see. And then that
And
that was kind of what I was talking to Jason about earlier, because in that rhythm section, it's like everyone was doing the double, double, double all the way down, and Jordan Smith on. I don't know if he just did it on the last lap or if he was doing it the whole time and they just never showed it, but he finally did the triple, 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 and then he caught and passed that guy on the last lap for second. So I'm like, why aren't these guys doing that? But then I was like, oh yeah, some of them are only 16 years old, but it's like shit.
Barsha was having trouble doing it consistently.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't think. I mean, I was surprised. Well, the guy that won it, I don't think he ever did it. Plessinger, he did.
He did it last lap, didn't he?
I there was one of the guys that tripled in and
I
then
thought
doubled.
he did it last lap, but
I'd have to go back and look.
like
I'm
I told
surprised.
Scott before, that dude just reminds me of that swimmer from the Olympics that was just dumber than a box of rocks. I don't know. I could not listen to that guy do a second interview. And like Ralph and Ricky don't help him with their stupid ass questions. It's like, man, literally I could not listen to an interview all night long because they were just that terrible.
I get a kick out of like Millsap's interview at the end. He says something about, my team has been behind me for so long or something like that. He said something about being something as team for so long. Like, dude, you're new. Like, you just signed with this team. What are you talking about for so long? Like you've been with them for what is it? Like the official day is October 1st, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I was gonna comment on that too, but I don't remember if I read or that was another interview he did earlier. Somebody got an early release. I don't know if that was him or not.
Yeah, it might have been, I guess, but even still, I mean, maybe he's talking about. I could see like if he's talking about like his like Ezra Lusk and his trainer or whatever, referring to them as his team. But when I hear him say my team, I'm assuming. I guess I was feeling like he was talking about Monster Energy Kawasaki, but and even still, he's only been with them for maybe 2 months at the most. So to say they believed in him for a long time or whatever.
Well, they believed in him enough to bring him back. I mean, I think no matter who picked him up, they were taking a little bit of a gamble there, but
Someone made a really good point in the chat room, believe it or not, about how um, if a lot of them, this particular person said, I wonder if Dungy is burned out because the guy, he's only missed, I think, like 2 races in his professional career. Like, I wonder if, like, a lot of these guys, like, AC Millsaps get hurt and he sits on the couch for, 17 months and he's just anxious as hell to get back and go. And Dungy's been racing basically since 2006 or whatever it was. 2000, I don't know when his pro debut was. Maybe it was 2007, 2008. But
He
I
had to
mean, he's
miss
been
more than 2 races.
no, he broke his collarbone and
And then didn't he
I
break
believe
it at Redbud? Or I thought he broke something outdoors one year.
I don't know. Well, I mean, but he's generally speaking, he hasn't really missed
Right.
any races. He hasn't missed any length of time. So I wonder if he's just sick and tired of racing.
No,
You're definitely onto something there. I mean, look at Millsaps the last time he came back. You
I
know,
know.
he just came out in Supercross and lit the world on fire when nobody was expecting it. So,
What do
I
you do
think
with a guy like that? I think maybe he just needs to take like time off, and just there's so much stuff going on. There's never any time to take off.
well, yeah, what does he do? He takes outdoors off and then people tear him apart.
Well, I think if I was him, I would say I'd talk to whoever and say, hey, don't pick me for the donations. I'm not doing the Monster Cup. I'm not doing Red Bull Straight Rhythm. I'm taking, a 3-month vacation. But
I think Wyndham kind of went down that road for a few years too. Where he talked a lot about that on how he just got so burned out, and he actually got to the point where he'd say, well, it's this is better than how I usually get second to Carmichael, so I guess I have to be happy about that. But I'm not getting any faster, and he's not getting any slower, so this is pretty much how it's going to be.
yeah,
So I think they definitely get to that point where they're just kind of, I don't know if you'd say burned out on it, but more or less just this is their job. They're there to collect a paycheck, and whatever happens, happens.
yeah,
I think everybody, no matter what, you have to have a break of some kind. I mean, because you fall into bad habits or whatever, and you need a break to get away from it so you can come back and be fresh. And there just is not an opportunity to do that in this sport.
Right.
Well, the other thing too, I think I feel like if Dungy doesn't win, everyone thinks he's a failure. But like, what is he supposed to do? Someone's got to get second. You know. I just feel like there's a lot of people that bag. Are you guys there? Did I lose you?
No, I hear you.
Okay, my phone acted weird. But you know what I mean? It's like he's pretty much expected to. I don't know. I guess a lot of people are bagging on him for getting fourth in this race, and I just feel like there's Marsha got fifth or whatever or sixth. He got way worse. All these other guys that are expected, they don't seem to have the same high standards for everyone else that they do for Dungy.
I just think, and maybe it plays into what you're talking about, but like I don't see Dungy being like that aggressive at the Monster Cup, whether he's 100% into it or burned out or whatever it may be, or whatever. I just don't see that happening. Oh boy. Are we back?
I only see you.
I don't know what the hell happened there.
There you go. There's Jason.
Huh.
We must have lost him too, huh?
Yeah, everyone was gone. All of a sudden, I got just this huge error thing came up.
Yeah, it said unfortunately Hangouts has stopped.
I just got the do-do-do, and nobody was there anymore. It's like, what the hell? I know I'm a dick, but
So I kind of missed what you were saying, Scott. You said you were going on about how.
I just my thought is Dungy versus everyone else at the Monster Cup. I just don't think he's. I think you need to be like over aggressive, and whether if he is burnt out or not into it, or maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't know. That's just kind of my thought on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not really. It doesn't. Like I said, he's probably not. He's probably going there thinking, okay, I'm probably not gonna win 100 grand. Um, it's not my type of race. I'm not the kind of, balls out sprint racer. So he's probably just going there with a different mindset. And obviously, for a guy like him, his goal is to win championships because so I'm guessing he's probably not going there with the same guys. What the heck was that? That just oh, okay. I just got added to a circle.
Yeah, it's your phone making loud noises.
Leave your circle jerks to yourself. We don't need to.
But then that's the other thing too, is like it is a one race deal, and yeah, you could go balls out and break your femur. Well, guess what? Now you just completely wrecked all of Supercross, and who knows if you're going to be ready for outdoors, So I mean, I think they are putting a lot on the line for, one race. I mean, take Kennard. I mean, he could have, how easily could he have broke his wrist there, or who knows what happens.
I just don't see a whole lot of fire in Dungy. But, that being said, there really hasn't ever been a whole lot of, a fire around him. He's always just kind of, been that guy that's there. And sometimes he's there at the right time and it works out well for him. And other times he's going to, be consistent top 5. I think that's just kind of, the rider that he is. Is he going to get crap for it? Sure he is. But, he's a professional. That's part of the gig.
Yeah.
I agree, Matt.
Oh,
100%.
If he's right, I mean, the guy's done. I think he's got to have made a lot of money. I would think he'd have plenty of money to retire off of. Especially because I doubt he lives an extravagant lifestyle. So I think I'd give it to him to be in his shoes, to where you'd have a really successful motocross career, make a ton of money, and call it quits. Even if people bagged on you for not being aggressive enough, who gives a shit what they think?
Well, exactly.
I want to be a top 20 golfer. You don't know who I am, but I'm there making money. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Screw this dirt biking.
That's enough out of you.
All right, so kind of talked about the racing.
There's your prequel for next year, everybody. We're done doing motocross stuff. It's going to be the Talkin Golf podcast.
Let's
I
do
think
it.
it'll just be called 4.
I think I would probably be fired because I golf twice this year.
That's same as me. I haven't gotten out that much. So what did you think of that Hannah Hodges chick in the Super Mini? Think that's pretty cool.
I don't know. Don't you feel bad for the guy that finished right ahead of him, or I mean, right ahead of her?
Why?
How come he didn't get any TV time?
That's kind of how I feel about it. Are we still at that point where people are saying, "Oh, the girls can't ride with the boys"? It can't happen. Nobody's saying that. So why are they making such a big deal out of it? If anything, to me, it should be more of a. I wish I was smarter and could think of words. I think it would be more of an insult to her that they spent as much time talking about her as they did.
Well, I mean, what warranted all the extra television time? Because she's a girl racing with the boys? Well, I don't think that when you're 12 to 15 years old, your bodies are all that different. You know what I mean? Like, I think that girls could be, obviously, as you mature and hit puberty and all that, men develop a lot differently than women do. And I think that's why there'll never be women that are, able to compete with the top guys, just because we're not, unless it's the guy from Tigerton, who was probably not born. But we're not the same. I mean, to feel like you're equal. I mean, women want equality, and that's fine, but you know, it's just, I think at that young age, the physical difference isn't that difficult to overcome. Whereas as she gets older, as these kids develop and obviously develop a ton more upper body strength and everything like that, she's going to have a lot harder time. But it's one of them things where if you want to be equal, be equal.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you get, extra special TV coverage because you're a girl out there. You're an equal. On the track, you can't tell the difference, so
At the same time, it's not her fault, obviously, but I feel like, to me, it has more to do with, you were born into the sport, your parents got you started at an early age, you were good at it, you're kind of naturally talented at it. I don't think boy girl has near as much to do with it as that does at that age.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot that she could do as she grows up I mean, let's face it, most women probably don't start as when they're young, and most of them are to be a professional, racing against the men. And if you did, you're going to have to be she's going to obviously have to work out probably harder than the guys do. And
Well, what bugged me is when Jenny Taft said, she started racing at 6 years old and gave up every other sport she was involved in. It's like, what sports was she involved in at 6 years old? That it was that big a deal that she gave it up and started racing dirt bikes. Oh my God.
well, and tell me that's not true for everyone else on the line.
Exactly.
I mean, they all did it. In order to compete at that level, you have to do that. So why does that make her? I don't know. I mean, it's definitely impressive what she did, but it's not, like I said. How would you feel to be the tour? Would she finish 8th, 9th, 10th, something like that?
I think she got
What about
10th.
What about the 7 guys ahead of her that got 0 television coverage?
Well, and that's how I felt about it. And, they're making a big deal. She's out there doing the big jumps with the boys and everything else. And all I'm thinking is, you know what? If I had started riding at 6, I would hope I was on that level, or I'd be quitting too.
Whoa.
Well, our female audience just went right down the shitter.
Yeah, because there's so many of them. The Cacciati sisters are going to be pissed.
I got nothing against her at all. It's just that I think
No, I don't either, and that's what kind of sucks is, we're sitting here kind of, definitely not trying to take anything away from her. Yeah, it was awesome. Do I think it takes any more guts than any one of those boys being on the line? No, absolutely not. But at the same time, it's not her fault that they spent half a moto talking about her. But it is kind of frustrating because, like you say, you want equality. Well, part of that is you better be running in the top 5 or nobody's going to talk about you.
Yeah.
Okay. On to
We
my
just
next
talked about her
subject.
for 20 minutes.
Huh?
We just talked about her for 20 minutes. So.
All right. We will move on. The last thing that I have is, and me and Jason were kind of going back and forth while it was going on, was the freestyle. What's your guys' take on that?
Like I said, thank God they cut it down to like 5 minutes worth in the rebroadcast, so I didn't have to watch it again.
At least it was best whip and not some stupid flipping competition.
But they weren't even whips.
I know.
You know,
It
when you
was,
jump a dirt bike and you're leaving the ground and the bike is perfectly perpendicular, I think that's the word, to the ground, it's not a whip when you just lean off to the side of it and pull it over. I don't know what you call that, but it's not a whip. If you're going to throw a whip, you better at least, be dragging a foot peg when you leave the ground.
it was dumb. It was really stupid. There's got to be a better way to. What did there need to be, like a gap there? I felt like there was plenty of time in between, the second and third moto. I don't know why they had to fill that gap with that crash, but
Yeah, I don't really know why they needed it. And I was really just waiting for McGrath to say something like that. Like, these guys aren't even doing whips. This is just stupid. You could kind of tell that that's how he felt about it, but he wouldn't come out and say it.
Okay, there's a few things. One, I'm not a fan of the guys that were pre-qualified. I think that was kind of retarded. And then I was trying to look up the guys. McNeil, the guy that won. Like, I thought I'm not a fan of kind of that style of whips.
They're not even whips.
Well, is it? I'm gonna butcher his name. Tortinez or whoever the other guy.
okay.
He's got like that. Like, he corks his body, and it to me there's zero flow to it at all. Like, I could care less that the bike is facing the other direction. I'm more like a Kevin Windham. Like Jason, you said, like a Supercross. Nice flow, but yeah, not a.
Well, like I said, more of like a scrub whip, more like you're actually doing it, to accomplish something, not you go off the face of the jump in second gear as slow as you possibly can, so you have time to basically lean off the side of the bike in the air.
Well, the thing is, this is how dumb it was. Half of the guys in the main event that were charging hard were laying down bigger and better whips than those dudes.
That's exactly what I told Scott.
I mean, Justin Hill was like flat off of that triple several times on that KTM 450. And
That's what I told Scott. I said anybody in the cup class could have won that best whip competition tonight.
And to be honest, I mean, it's way more badass when a dude is doing it at speed, and he's also hauling the mail around the track. I think it's just, I mean, I don't even know that, I don't know. It was just so, to me, it was so boring. And then that Edgar Torrenteras, he was in like Terra Firma 1. Like, the dude's been around for so long. And, I know he's in Terra Firma 4. He was on the beach in Terra Firma 4, like down south in South America, ripping wheelies and stuff. And he's just I'm not a big fan of him. He seems like a dork. And his stupid, like, snap my neck off, look back whips were just dumb, I thought. I just didn't think it was, I don't know.
Yeah, that's. I mean, exactly kind of what you're saying, Jeff. I don't like it. It's like it's so jerky and yeah.
I just felt like the whole thing was kind of an insult, especially when you get Twitch out there. And I can throw a better whip than Twitch. Seriously,
What happened?
I'm not even
What do you
joking.
think happened there? Like, did he just like jack up the takeoff and didn't really have anything, or did he just do it to be a douche, or what?
Like, he's never been able to throw a decent whip, not that I've seen anyway.
Well, they're going to get into whip contest.
It's because
'Cause
he's
he's
a
Twitch.
past winner or a X Games winner.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I didn't like, because it's like, and whatever the Twitch whip or that look down, whatever it was that he tried doing, like, I've seen those guys, like Hansen does it, but they're doing it like out in the hills, and it looks pretty sweet, but like off of that jump, I don't know. It's just like wow.
Well, it wasn't that good of a setup. If you're really trying to do best whip, hitting a triple is probably not the best.
No, it definitely was not a good jump for it, but especially with the double right before it.
I don't think that is one of them deals where like you've got like I said, half of the people walking in that stadium were probably there to watch James Stewart race,
Yeah.
and they you know they're not. They're the guys that when you say, "Yeah, I race motocross." Oh, can you do backflip?
Yeah.
No, I can't do a backflip.
Hell yeah, I can do a backflip.
Or are you any good? Well, define good. Like, no, I don't make a living at it, so I guess I'm not that good.
Just say,
I
you know what, I'm better than you.
That's yeah. That's something that you just can't. You can't impress upon people how difficult it is just by telling them. Like they don't get it, and they never will, of course. But
It's not difficult. The bike does all the work.
oh yeah, I mean, what do you need muscle? You know, it can't be that hard. You got a motor. You know, all you do is sit there and twist the throttle. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't. I don't know. I just seen all the guys that were pre-qualified, and it was nice to see what Brett Q finally able to get into a competition. He's been out of X Games. Has he ever gone to X Games yet? I know he made that video trying to get in, but
Couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
The only thing I was thinking the whole time was, man, I wish Cameron Steele would get back into doing Supercross. Put it back on ESPN and take it back to the old days.
I don't know why, but he kind of annoys me.
You're not a Cameron Steele fan?
He's got to be better than Ralph, but
You
A little bit.
you guys are assholes tonight.
Why?
I don't know. I don't think Ralph's a bad guy.
I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying he's not qualified to be doing what he's doing.
I'm conflicted on Ralph because he's actually a pretty cool guy, but he's not. He just, I don't know. I hate the dumb people. Like, I don't know.
I just question why he is considered, the best person to be doing that. And they're not, they don't help him out. I mean, by sticking Ricky in there with him, I mean, Ricky's not any better.
No, you know who was worse though was that frickin' Rick Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, hope they don't go like something like that. I don't know. Yeah, Carmichael made some. He's kind of odd. I don't know why he does it too because, I don't really know why he's involved in it. You think he'd have his hands full as it is with the team, and I'm surprised they haven't just told him you can't do it anymore because you have it's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Although he's never really been super. He's never been nothing but critical of his riders.
Yeah.
We talked about Brock Dickel that time going if he went any slower he'd fall over. So,
But he's never had a rider that he should really not be critical of either. So.
I mean, he's got a nice setup now. He's got at least a top-notch rider. So.
And yes,
That's
Diana
what
is Miss Supercross again. Whoop-de frickin' do.
That's oh, I've gone incognito. What happened? I don't know what the hell just happened, but I'm incognito now.
Oh God.
That means you can look at porn and your computer won't put it in your history.
Wait a minute. I can do this?
Mm-hmm.
Why have I been looking at porn the old-fashioned way?
I don't know. That's how I do it at work.
Rookie mistakes.
Well, I'm pretty sure I can do it on my phone all I want.
Yeah, do you know why she's 5-time?
The only thing I can figure out is they can't find anybody stupid enough to take her spot.
You watch your language when you're talking about her.
My goal is to make another uncomfortable Tuesday.
Oh man.
So does that mean Chris is saying guess my N is a B? No.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
And is Matt getting divorced?
Yeah, he's working on it. He's just waiting for Deanna to say yes.
Yeah, I thought. Well, do you think that she probably wouldn't? She does something else, but Erin Bates, she was good, I thought. But she's never missed Supercross. She was just the pit reporter.
I'm not with who said that, Chris? Yeah, I'm wholeheartedly against that. I think Jenny, she doesn't know a lot yet about the sport, but she seems to catch on pretty quick, and I think she's better than Aaron. The problem is, it doesn't matter what she asks these people. Half of them go right into, they don't even answer the question at all. Half of the riders just don't even hear the question and then just start their little pre-rehearsed, their spiel. So who cares what they ask them or what the questions. The questions suck anyway. Take us through that race. I don't know about you, but half the time I can't remember most of the things that took place during the race.
No.
So
I'll always have a soft spot for Jenny just because she's a hometown girl and she started out doing wild hockey, and I think she's pretty cool. But she did have to bring up the fact that she told Davey Millsaps that that he won the $100,000, and the way she said it just drove me nuts.
Was there some Minnesotan in there?
Oh, she said, I don't remember exactly what it was word for word, but instead of like $100,000 or whatever, she basically said he asked me if he had won the $100,000. And that just bothers me. It's like, you guys are professionals. You're supposed to be professionals. You should be able to, speak properly.
Hey, speaking of
That's like every time somebody says, do good, it just drives me frickin' nuts. It's like, you guys sound like first graders. It's do well. Come on.
How about Carmichael saying it takes a whole lot of preciseness to nail that rhythm? I was yelling. Lauren was watching it I was watching it when I was home Sunday night, and I'm like, "Oh my God, preciseness, really?" I think it's called precision, Carmichael.
I am not gonna say anything here because we know.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Sure, I probably don't always speak properly either, but I'm not getting paid what those people are getting paid to do it.
Well, you can't make up words. I mean, you can't. It's just terrible. I mean, granted, Carmichael's a homeschooled, he's got an 8th grade education, and he's from Florida, so.
Yeah, but what year in school did you learn it's do well and not do good?
Yeah, I never
was that all the frickin' time.
Do well. I never use the word well ever, unless I'm talking about where water comes from.
It just sounds so frickin' childish the way they do it. It drives me nuts.
Well, it takes a lot of preciseness to be effective.
It takes preciseness to do good. You do gooder.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think overall? Do we call Monster Cup? Is it a prequel to what we're going to see in Supercross, or is it just an event? It is what it is, and now Supercross is going to be 100% different because Stewart's going to be back, because Roxon's going to be back. Was it a preview, or was it just an entity all its own?
Yeah, to me, I think you got to go it's all on its own because essentially, to me, there's what you got three rhythm lanes or three lanes that you're not going to see on a normal supercross track, and then you're going to have everyone else that was not there, you know.
Mm.
So
Well, I
I
mean,
tend to agree with that.
and it's kind of hard to tell where these guys are going to go because they may be top of their class, but then when you throw them into an open class where it's the top 40 all across the board, they don't, they're doing average, because it's not a 250 East and West and then a separate 450 class. It's, all of them combined, and here's where they all stack up. So it's kind of an interesting deal, but it's tough to base anything off of that. I mean, I think Baggett will be better as time goes on, but I also think that he'll be way better outdoors than indoors. He's never been good at Supercross, so
yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I don't know that you can take the two and compare them. Honestly, take like Reed for example. He was kind of going through the motions, and he says he's just gonna get ready for A1. So you know he's there
well,
but not there.
And I'll agree with guys like Reed. I mean, obviously he was just there, just doing what he had to do, probably working more on setup and just kind of trying to get back into it. But take Kennard, Hill, those guys. Are we going to see them running up front, or was this a mirage?
well, I think Kennard will be up front for sure. I think this could be Supercross ever because I don't think Stewart is head and shoulders above these guys. Um, so I think it could be a pretty good year with Dungy, Millsaps, Kennard, Roxon, Stewart. Who else is going to be a top guy? Tomac.
I
There's
think
going to be a
it's
guy. There's not anyone that's like way better. And obviously, as time goes on, uh, there'll probably be a few guys that rise to the top due to their consistency as far as the points go. But I think there could be some really good battles for the lead because you got a lot of guys that are really close to the same speed. But the problem would be like if Stewart somehow figures out a way to get consistent again, he could be, I don't know, he could be really good.
see my feeling on it is Stewart comes back and does what he always does. Like I would put money on the fact that he doesn't complete a full season. Dungy is going
Yeah.
to do what he always does, top 3, top 5. So I think it's really up to Tomac, Kennard, Millsaps. I think that's going to be the show this year. I think Hill's going to be in there. I don't know how consistent he's going to be, but it'll make. I agree though. I think it'll be a damn good season if those guys all stay healthy.
What is with Tomac and his inability to pull a whole shot? Or pull anything that even resembles a whole shot?
He basically does everything but hit the gate as far as how long he
It's,
sits there.
it's ridiculous. And then, I mean, I don't know. And then he talked about how he switched to all new suspension components for this week. Like, no wonder you can't get used to anything. You're switching them every time you ride the bike. Quit switching them. Stick with something. And ride it and get used to it. I mean, I read all these interviews where it's talking about all these Honda riders are having issues with their front end and they're all flopping around to every which, any suspension company under the sun. And I
think they just get to that point where maybe they're so lost on a setup that they just keep trying to throw new stuff at it, thinking it's going to be a savior, and it just never works for them because they don't give it a chance.
yeah, I don't, I mean,
Did he switch to the same stuff that Kennard is running? Or no?
Yeah, he went to all KYB components.
And that's
So
what Kennard is on?
yeah, that's what. Remember, Kennard made the switch to KYB stuff like late in the nationals, and then started winning. And um, I guess he credited the suspension for that. And I remember like Mathis was talking about how big of a deal it was for Honda to do that because they used Showa on their production bike on the 450s. And I mean, Kennard was mentioned, or Tomac said that he went from the air fork to the spring fork at the donations, but I think it was a Showa spring fork, and now he's went to all KYB stuff, which I'm assuming is front and rear. But I mean, pick a damn setup and just tweak it and make it better, and stick with it for some time. I mean, I just don't think I don't know how you can go from race to race switching. Obviously, a race situation and the race pace is what you want to base your setup off of. And I think that if you race differently on different stuff every time, you're never going to have a setting.
Right.
I guess I feel like how much difference can there really be between a Showa suspension and a KYB suspension that these guys are switching and all of a sudden it's that much better? I mean, you're supposed to have the top techs in the sport taking care of that for you. I'd be putting the blame on them. Why can't you guys figure this out to make it work for me? Why do we have to switch components to make it work?
Airport stuck.
Or even looked at air forks.
Well, I mean, you just said it. If the best technicians in the world can't make them perform to the point where guys say, "Yep, they're definitely better than spring fork," then they're not worth it.
Yep.
Well, I think that most people that buy them bikes probably wouldn't know the difference. So
No, I'll agree with that. But that's like saying that the suspension they're running is the exact same suspension that we're going out and buying when we buy a brand new bike. That's not even close to true.
my back hurts.
Maybe you just go all stock.
Are you gassy, Scott?
No.
Seemed like I heard some farting going on.
That's probably my computer. It's about to blow up. It's making
I need a
noise.
sneeze button.
But
I'm blaming the Amazon.com thing on our website for screwing up my computer today.
I would too.
No, seriously. Because it's every time that thing starts over that I lose you guys for 3 seconds.
No, all right. I can switch it. Well, not now, but
Just make it stop moving.
I'll get a stationary one.
Like on a freaking Transworld website here. There's always got to be stuff going on. Get rid of it. Nobody's using it anyway. Do they sell trailer axles on Amazon?
You can get whatever you want on Amazon. I'm sure they're out there. Go through talkinmoto.com and buy it.
You have to have the one I want first. Nobody else has it.
Thought you didn't need one now. I thought you were gonna get that thing bent.
Yeah, that guy shot that idea down real quick.
Oh, see?
Yep. He called me when I got home from work because apparently this other guy gave him my number. And he's like, I just got one question. Is that a torsion axle or a spring axle? I said, well, it's a torsion axle. He's like, yeah, I can't bend those. I said, yeah, that's kind of what everybody else had told me. But he's like, but I can help you find one. The guy's 80 years old. Talked to him for an hour.
Funny.
I think he's going to be my savior, though. I think he's going to help me out. So
Wrap it up. Unless you have something else you want to talk about.
I think that's your job.
Oh, shoot. That's not good. But, all right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. I think we had we did all right. I don't know what the hell happened at the beginning, but
It was horse shit.
get it.
Don't try to make us feel better.
Yeah, I think we're good. We're good now, though. I don't know why, but it seemed to be working. So, all right, guys, thanks for listening, and
Tonight, and to the new listeners that have hopped on lately,
yeah,
we're gonna figure out what we're doing for in the future. That's been a big question at the track the last few weeks. Whether or not we're gonna continue and what's gonna happen to us. So I'm not even making that up. That has been like the number one thing I've been asked is if we're gonna continue.
are they concerned about us, or do they want us to go away?
I think it's 50-50.
Well, hey, we can't make them all happy.
No.
So, cool.
I'm not sure what Ian would have to gain by making us go away. But
Matt Dorn might save some money.
Oh, shoot. All right, guys, thanks for listening, and yeah, we're gonna get our stuff figured out, and yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do. Maybe we'll do a show in a couple weeks and just kind of touch base with everyone and see what's going on. But that's it. Now we're just gonna kind of hang out and wait for Supercross to start. So, thanks for listening, and keep checking talkinmoto.com for all the news and all the other fun stuff. So, all right,
Get ready, Clayton. My parts are coming.
here we go. We're out of here.
Shutter.